Hey guys, what's going on? This is Tuuvas, and I'm going to be bringing you guys today another Minecraft tutorial video. Now, it's not going to be another Asian architecture or piston passageway. It's going to be a little more complicated, but it will involve redstone. And here it is. Now, I've been thinking about what to call it lately, and the best name I could come up with is that I could call it a multi-pulse generator. So, just like in the name, it takes a pulse and it multiplies it. And in this case, it will multiply the pulse 8 times times 2. So a total of 16 times. I'll get to why I describe it that way, but here's a quick example of what it does. I have a piston hooked up so that it'll activate a total of 16 times. No more, no less. There's one set, and then another set of 8. So there you go, a total of 16 times. Now, I can't really think of too many ways that this would be useful. I'm sure you guys could think of plenty of ways, but I have 2 examples. I'll show you guys those 2 examples though at the end of the video. But till then, let's show you guys how to build this. What do you think you're doing here? Hey, think you just poop in my yard? Ooh. You know what? Had this coming to you. No one poops in my lawn and gets away with it. I'm good. Well, anyways, guys, let's get to building this thing. Alright, so the basic amount of supplies you're going to need. It doesn't matter what blocks you use, but what you're definitely going to need is some type of block. A sticky piston, or, well, not just one sticky piston. Actually, with this setup, yeah, you're going to need at least one sticky piston, some type of block, redstone repeaters, redstone itself, and redstone torches. Oh, and also a lever. In this tutorial, though, I'm going to be using gold, diamond, and iron blocks just to serve, like, to make it so it's color-coded. It'll be easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. For now, I'm not going to need diamond right now. So yeah. Alright, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to build is the button. Now this isn't going to be a typical button where it's the one that you make using 2 stone. This is going to be a lever activated button. So let's see. Now I'll just build it right here. So you want to start off with a sticky piston. Dig down right behind it and to the side. And then place a redstone repeater facing the direction of the hole right they made on the side. Set that to 4. And then place a redstone torch right here. Then go ahead and cover this. Cover that. And put another one right here. Oops. Not bad. I like to make it all the same color. Aesthetically pleasing to me. Alright, so then from here, you're going to want to put your lever down and add a single piece of redstone here. Alright, so what this does... Oh, wait, and one more thing. You want to put another block right in front of that. No, yeah, I'm totally not done yet. And another thing as well, you need to put another torch right there. Alright, so what this contraption does is that it basically acts like a button, like I said earlier, where when you throw this switch, it pulls this block down, but when it pulls it down, the repeater that's under here is set to a delay so that it extends the piston back to its original position. And the advantage of doing this is that you can send a reliable signal that's always going to stay the same length out this side or out this side. So no matter how many times you use this, no matter how many times you're going to use this, it always sends the right amount of signal each time. Whereas if you were to use a button that's already made in micro... Another freaking chicken! Yeah, that's right. Bring my whoop-ass stick out. Alright, well anyways. What do I have here? And I'm brain dead. No, I'm sure I'll grab it when I need it. Alright, so anyways, like I was saying, it sends a reliable signal out both sides. So whereas with a button that's already provided in Minecraft, you could hit it and it would send out a signal, but it wouldn't be consistent to where it would send the same amount of signal each time, because you say you press it, that state goes off and then back on for a certain amount of duration of time. But it isn't always the same amount of time if you were to keep on using that same button. So what this contraption does is it makes it so it is reliable. Every time you flip the switch, it will send the same amount of signal duration every single time. So it's pretty useful for contraptions that are pretty reliant on timing of the redstone repeaters that are used within it. So anyways, let's move on. So what you want to do from here is, it doesn't really matter what delay you set this to. I think I usually set it at 4. So we'll just leave it at that for now. And this was stone, wasn't it? Alright, so this is pretty much the whole device complete for this project. Now what you want to do is move on to making the repeater system, or the pulse system, I guess you want to call it. So go ahead and just throw a repeater down. Actually, no, you don't need a repeater. You just put redstone dust down and then put a block in front of that. Now this will depend on how many of these blocks you put down will depend on how many times you want to repeat the signal that's sent out of this button right here. So in the case of this tutorial though, I'm going to send the signal out a total of 8 times, just like I did over there. So go ahead and place this block down, then just keep putting how many times you want the signal repeated, and make sure you leave a space in between. Now of course if you want to send out make it at different delays, you'll need to space this out more, but I'll get into that later. So since I want to do it a total of 8 times and then times 2, you'll want 4 across that way, and then you're going to want 4 across this way. Now the distance between this is basically making this the center line right here. So yeah. Alright, so from here, go ahead and put your torches on top. These are the outputs that you'll be using to power your mechanisms, whatever you decide to use this for. Alright, so now to make it so that the pulse gets sent through each one at even times. So what you want to do is put redstone repeaters all along here, and just kind of snake them through. Snake them through each gold block. But again, it doesn't have to be gold. It's just what I use for tutorial's sake. Alright, there you go. Now, what you want to do is you need to connect each one of these somehow. And this is a little bit different than what most would do. Like, instead of using redstone to connect each one, I like to use blocks instead. So that's what these iron blocks are going to be for. Because it serves the same purpose as the redstone, but it won't get in the way of other redstone should there ever be any right next to them. It won't automatically connect. So that's one advantage to using blocks, as opposed to just straight redstone dust. And you also save redstone, so that's always good. Alright, so now that all of those are connected... Oh wait, no they're not. Okay, now they are. Now that all those are connected, you need to set the delays. For the purpose of this contraption, I'm going to be setting them to just 4 all the way across. Oops, what the heck was that? That was weird. My character like spun around 10 times at once. It really depends on what you're planning on making, though. These delays can be set to different things, and sometimes they need to be longer, sometimes shorter. It really depends. And I'll be showing you guys examples of setting it shorter and also setting it longer. This structure you see in the distance, that has them set to 4, 4, and 1. While another structure has them set to a total of, I think, 1, 2, 3... There'll be a total of 5 repeaters, all of them set to 4, except for one of them. But I'll show you guys those once I finish this. Alright, so we need to test this out real quick. So let's just go ahead and flip the switch. So as it is right now, it should send a pulse to each one only once. And looks good. Okay. Alright, you guys, so from here you're going to want to make some kind of system that will allow this pulse to loop. constant, like infinitely. So to do that, you place a redstone repeater here, put a block right in front of that. You want to bring this over to the original starting point of the whole process. So go ahead and start routing it this way. You can bring it across here, it won't affect anything. Going across this way, put another repeater right here at this very first button. First block of the button, or output block of the button. And set that to 4. Actually, for this, is it 4? Eh, we'll figure it out. The timing varies depending on what you're making, like I said before. Alright, so go ahead. Now for this though, you need to make sure you copy these because this is considered another output, so you need a redstone torch on top of this. Now what you're going to do is take redstone and start routing it across this way and into this block. Since the redstone is sending power to this block, that in turn sends power to this redstone repeater. So you don't have to worry about bringing it all the way down, hooking around, and connecting the redstone directly to the repeater. It could be done this way. It saves a lot of room too if you do it this way. Alright, so this should work in looping the whole pulse. Yep, there you go. I think that's perfectly timed too. Okay, so let's break the loop. Just destroy one of the redstone dusts so it doesn't loop anymore. Now what we need to do is make it so it doesn't infinitely loop. So to do that, we will create the what's called the memory gate. That's going to be served as a quote-unquote multiplier or loop halter, whatever you want to call it, really. Alright, to start this, you're going to want to put a redstone torch here and place another block on top of that. Then from here, right next to this torch, go ahead and place down another block and raise it one. And put another one down, and you're going to fill a total of a 2 by 3 space. So just like this, and then put another block on this corner. Then from here, you're going to put those 2 torches on these sides and link them by redstone dust. And go ahead and put dust right here. So what this does is that when this torch sends a signal to this dust, it'll turn this torch off, which will in turn have this torch be on. So it'll look like this instead. And this is why you want that, because when this torch is here, it will send a signal to this block here. And this is the same, and by the way, when you put this repeater down, you want it to 4 because you need to give the signal time to completely loop back around. You don't want to cut it off short, otherwise the signal isn't going to be long enough. Alright, so basically what this does is when the signal gets sent here, it also gets sent into this memory gate. And when this memory gate flips like it did, it turns this torch on, which will keep this torch off the second time around. So yeah, that's what it does to keep the pulse from infinitely looping. So that's already set up, so as it is right now, it should go through the pulse only 2 times. Oh, whoops. Oh wait, my bad. There's one more step we have to do. Actually, no, I'm gonna change these delays so it doesn't take as long to go through the whole process of the entire loop. Oops. My mouse keeps on jumping. I just got a new mouse. What the heck? Alright, I think they're all set to the right delay now. Okay, so in order to reset this memory block, though, is that you need to send power into this block to reset it. So to do that, you just put a repeater here and put blocks along this way and connect them to this redstone wire here. Alright, so this is what it does. When you flip this down, it sends power this way, which flips the signal back to where it was originally. Then you flip this again to activate the system, and it'll send the pulse through. There we go, much faster. And there's a text message. So it turned that off and it's keeping off while the loop is still not going. That's weird. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. I found out the reason why I didn't loop is because I forgot to reconnect this redstone dust. Well, anyway, so let's get back to it. So you flip that, it resets it, then you flip it again, it sends the pulse. And it should do a total of only 2 times. So this is the first time. There, the memory block locks this so it doesn't activate anymore, and the pulse is already going back through. And it ends there, and it doesn't loop. Okay, good. Alright guys, so from here you're pretty much already done with the main mechanics of the contraption. So now what you need to do is create the output line. So what you're going to do is connect all these torches so they send a signal along the same path. So go ahead and just line them up here. And then they're going to meet the center to turn this off. Actually, let's go ahead and make this look better. Kind of like doing it this way. You can get away with not having the center line done, but I just think it looks better. Well, first let me just show it to you this way. It'll still work. So you go ahead and connect those that way, then connect these this way. And then put the wire this way and this way. Then go ahead and put your redstone torch up here. Then from here, you're also going to want to put a block here, and this is going to be your main output level. So right here, let's say you're building this structure and you're going to be building this underground. Then when you link this, this will be your actual, whatever mechanism you're trying to power will go on this level. Then above that is going to be, for example, the overworld right here, just like the forest and all that. Whatever's outside. Or a building or whatnot, like that up there. Alright, so as it is right now, it should power a piston just fine. It should do it a total of 16 times, if I did this right. So let's go ahead and test it. Well, there you go. It did it a total of 16 times. It wasn't smooth because I had to readjust the timing a little bit on the loop. But it should be just fine now. Yeah, this looked like it was fine. Well, anyways, so yeah, it's pretty much done, and that's how you make it. Now, what I was saying about making this look better is another thing you could do is run the wire along here as well. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to affect the way it works. It just makes it look better. But yeah, so that's the finished product right here. And that's how you build the multi-pulse generator. Now I'm going to show you guys what useful things you can do with this kind of setup. Hey guys, and we're back, and here's one example of what you can do with the multi-pulse generator. So you have a front gate for your medieval castle and you want to raise a gate. Well, you can do that. Take your multi-pulse generator, set it up, and set up your contraption for raising a gate. And go ahead and flip the switch, reset it, and activate. And there you go. You just raised your medieval gate. Not bad, huh? So this is how it looks underneath. It's a little bit smaller. I only needed to activate a total of I think 8 times. So I made it go through 4 times and then another 4 times, so 4 times 2. And this is the contraption for actually raising the gate. The power goes from here into this torch and up to here. I had this time so that these pistons activate first and these ones follow, and when the gravel falls, it pushes the gravel underneath the ones that were already there. So that's a pretty simple design for how to make a rising medieval gate, like you just saw. Only problem though is that with that design, I really don't know how it would lower the gate automatically. You would have to break it down yourself and reset it yourself. So if you guys want to tell me on how to make something like that, I would be all ears, because I was trying to do that on the server I play on and I totally failed at it. But it looks pretty cool when you raise it, huh? Anyways, let's move on. So the other thing you could build is this thing right here. I've made something like this before, and it's a conveyor belt. And the structure I made before was massive. Like, it probably took up from this point straight down to probably all the way over, like, over here or something. It was a massive piece of work. But because of this multi-pulse generator that I came up with, it makes the overall size of the contraption a lot smaller, and therefore making it a lot easier to deal with. So this is the example of something else you can make. So say you, for whatever reason, need a conveyor belt. So you go ahead and place a block. Oh, actually, let's use a diamond block as an example. And go ahead and flip the switch. Reset it, and then activate. Come over here, and there's your conveyor belt. Man, that's loud. And there you go. Now this one I don't have fine-tuned, so it does it the least amount of times it needs to, but you can always set it for that. Oh yeah, there you go. And with a conveyor belt, if you guys don't know already, you can push more than just a placed block. Waiting for it to finish. I think I have it doing a total of 16 times or something. So you can also push things like, I don't know, like dropped items or so. Oops. Let's use redstone as an example. So say you have a bunch of redstone, or a better example, let's say you have a bunch of loot from like slain zombies from a mob evader or something, and you want to bring the items to you without using a water current. This is one way you could do it. Granted, it's a very loud and very costly way to do it, even with just water, but this is just another option. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I should probably turn down my sounds. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I really don't want to re-record. But yeah, there you go. Then you just come over and just pick your stuff back up. So it's not too shabby. It works pretty well. And just like before, it's using the 8x2 system with a little bit different setup in between, because in order for the conveyor belt to work, I had to increase the delay from 3 redstone repeaters to a total of 5 redstone repeaters. All set to 4 except for this one, which is set to 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, so 4 times 4 is 16, 17, 18. So every single time the pulse goes through here, it's a delay of 18. And then I had to adjust the timing here so that it would match those just right. This is still the same. The, the multiplier is still the same. That's still the same. The only other thing that's different is the looper. The timing setting on this is a little bit different. Instead of being, 3 over there, I set this to 4 in total. It loops just fine, so. And the main difference here, though, is this right here. Now, if you guys haven't seen one of my other tutorial videos, I talked about how there is still a bit of bugs in the way redstone works. And basically, when you set up a redstone structure and you know it should work, logically know it should work with the way it's set up, sometimes it doesn't. So you have to figure out why it isn't working correctly and work around it. So that's why I have it set up the way it is here. And it looks pretty cool the way this is set up. In fact, let me see if I can make it look even better. Haha. It kind of reminds me of like a actual generator in the center, where this is like the turbine that spins, or I don't know. Well, anyways, that'll make it hard to get to these repeaters though. But basically what was happening is that I think it was, what was it? This piston here and this piston right here were constantly not being retracted the right way. Everything else was working fine except for this one and this one. For whatever reason, that was happening. And the only way I found to fix it was to have this set up this way and these two torches existing at the same time instead of just one. Because one is enough to power all of these. One will power all of these just fine. It's just that when there's only one, those two pistons won't work correctly for whatever reason. I really don't know why, but this fixed the problem, so I have a working conveyor belt now. And it still looks pretty good. So yeah, those were two examples of what you can make using the multi-pulse generator. So yeah guys, that was the tutorial, and I really hope you enjoyed the video because I really am glad with the way this turned out. It started looking really messy when I was coming up with my first designs, but now I have a pretty good setup going. So yeah, hopefully this tutorial helped you guys out with whatever you might need to have a multi-pulse generator for. And give it a like, give it a favorite if you really want to, and just keep in touch. I'll see you guys later.